Today, we are diving deep into one of Shakespeare's most epic tragedies. This is a story where the fate of entire empires really hangs on a passionate, all-consuming love affair. And let me tell you, this is way more than just a romance. It's about the collision of love, duty, and power, a collision that literally reshaped the ancient world.
At its core, the whole play really boils down to this one powerful question. This is the central conflict, the engine that drives every single decision, every betrayal, and all of the tragic mistakes made by our two legendary main characters.
So let's meet our guy, Mark Antony. Now you gotta understand, he's a big deal. He's one of the three rulers of the entire Roman world, a celebrated general famous for his bravery and his charm. But, and this is a huge but, when our story kicks off, he's not in Rome doing his job. Oh no, he's in Egypt, and he is completely mesmerized by its queen.
To really get their story, first you have to picture their world. And it was a world that was literally split in two, kind of balanced on a knife's edge between two completely opposite ways of life.
And here's where you see that split in full force. On one side, you've got Rome. It's rigid, it's masculine, it's all about duty, order, and conquest. Shakespeare even makes the language they speak sound clipped and military-like. And then on the complete other side of the spectrum, you have Egypt. It's sensual, it's luxurious, a place of pleasure and passion. Our guy Antony, he's a man of Rome through and through. But his heart is in Egypt. And this is the conflict that starts to tear his whole world apart.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. Rome isn't run by a single emperor yet. Not yet, anyway. Power is shared between three guys. Antony, a young and very calculating Octavius Caesar, and the third, much weaker guy, Lepidus. Think of it like this really uneasy three-way partnership, and it's the only thing holding the Roman world together. So what could possibly be powerful enough to blow up this whole fragile setup? Well, it's exactly what you'd expect from a great tragedy, a love affair. But not just any love affair. This one changes the world.
Meanwhile, back in Rome, people are losing their minds. They look at Antony, this titan, one of the so-called triple pillars of the world, and all they see is a guy wasting his life, ignoring his job, and becoming what they call a strumpet's fool. So for them, his love for Cleopatra isn't just a personal choice, it's a full-blown political crisis.
So you have to ask why. Why would he risk everything for her? Well, Antony's own right-hand man, Enobarbus, probably says it best when he's describing Cleopatra's power. He says this, "Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety. She isn't just beautiful, she's endlessly fascinating, totally unpredictable, and just magnetic. She's a force of nature, and the great Roman general is completely caught in her storm."
But, the real world always has a way of crashing the party. News from Rome finally forces Antony to sober up and remember who he is, which leads him to make a decision to try and fix everything, but like in all great tragedies, it only ends up making it all so much worse. So, Antony gets dragged back to Rome. His wife has died, political rivals are making moves, he's got fires to put out. To try and smooth things over with his co-ruler Octavius Caesar, he agrees to a political marriage with Caesar's sister, Octavia. But come on, everyone knows this is just a band-aid. His own friend Enobarbus basically says it's doomed from the start because Octavia is described as holy, cold, and still, the absolute opposite of Cleopatra. This marriage is never, ever going to last.
And guess what? Enobarbus was 100% right. That little political patch job? It doesn't just fail, it rips the whole thing wide open. The fragile piece is over, and now it's war. And you can just see how fast it all falls apart. So in 40 BCE, Antony marries Octavia, and there's peace. For a hot second. But Caesar is already making moves, taking out his rivals, and grabbing more power. And Antony? He just can't stay away. He goes back to Cleopatra in Egypt, which is the ultimate insult to Caesar. Antony divorcing his sister is the final straw. Caesar now has the perfect political excuse he needs to declare war, not on Antony directly, but on Cleopatra and Egypt.
And this next part is just a terrible, terrible decision. Antony's generals are begging him, fight on land, that's where your army is legendary. But nope, spurred on by Cleopatra and his own massive pride, he insists they fight a naval battle, where Caesar's forces are known to be much stronger. This is, without a doubt, a catastrophic error in judgment.
So what comes next isn't just a military loss, it's a deeply personal tragedy.
It's like watching dominoes fall, just a cascade of bad decisions and miscommunications that seal their fates for good. The Battle of Actium is an absolute disaster. Right in the heat of the fight, Cleopatra's ships suddenly turn and just flee. And Antony, the great general, does the unthinkable. He sees her leaving, abandons his men, his honor, his entire world, and follows her. In an instant, his reputation is completely destroyed. He's utterly humiliated, and he lashes out, blaming her for the whole thing.
And if you thought it couldn't get worse, oh, it does. Cleopatra, terrified of his anger, hides away and sends a false report that she's killed herself, hoping it might calm him down. Worst idea ever. When Antony hears the news, he's so heartbroken that he tries to kill himself and botches the job. They end up carrying him, mortally wounded, to Cleopatra's hiding spot, and he dies in her arms. A complete tragedy, all because of a terrible miscommunication.
So, with Antony dead and Caesar's army closing in, Cleopatra knows exactly what her fate will be. She'll be captured and paraded through the streets of Rome like a war trophy. Well, she refuses to let her enemy have the last word. She decides to go out on her own terms, staging her own death with total regal defiance, dressed in her finest robes and dying from the bite of venomous snakes. It's her final act of queenly power.
So, the deaths of Antony and Cleopatra aren't just the end of a love story. They are the final, bloody birth pangs of a completely new world order.
The consequences are just seismic. Before, you had this fragile three-man rule, which was really the last gasp of the Roman Republic. After they're gone, there are no rivals left. Octavius Caesar is the only one standing, and he holds all the power. And just like that, the Roman Empire is born. Their intensely personal tragedy had a world historical consequence.
And here's the date that makes it all official. In 27 BCE, Octavius gets a new name, Augustus Caesar. He becomes Rome's very first emperor. Centuries of the Republic are over, and centuries of imperial rule begin, all forged in the fire of this one conflict.
So, we're left with this final question, aren't we? Was their love an epic romance, a force so powerful it literally changed history? Or was it just a reckless, self-indulgent passion that destroyed not only themselves but the entire world as they knew it? Shakespeare, of course, doesn't give us an easy answer, leaving us to wonder about the true cost of choosing love over empire.